to be here this morning. I was being bailed out of jail. Not really. Never talked to a police officer like I did. I thought about something about Cody, and I may still follow through with this. I'm gonna ask him that if he ever comes up behind me when I'm traveling down the road, to be sure and pull me over. Even if he doesn't give me a ticket for anything, but it's just good practice. Brother Tommy, do you mind if I mention this green piggy bank thing? We bought a bunch of these. We talked about it the other night. But we bought a bunch of these, and I brought some tonight. They are blank. There's nothing on either side. But the ones that I had imprinted on, which are not in yet, say Haiti Orphanage on the side. Okay? So I've got about a half a dozen of them tonight. If you want to take one home, you can take a Sharpie and write on the side of it, Haiti Orphanage. The others that have it imprinted on them will be in a couple of weeks. Okay? And then you can start immediately. But I will warn you, the little plug at the bottom is a little bit loose, and so it could wiggle and fall out between here and home if you're not careful. Okay, so be careful about that. Once it starts getting a lot of change in it, it'll probably not fall out. Okay, but then when you either fill it up or at the end of the month, whether it be half full or whatever, you want to bring it, and we will take all the work out of it, and we'll separate all the coins and put them in little coin strips, coin holders or whatever. So all you have to do is put it in a bag or a bowl or whatever and bring it, and then we'll take care of the rest. Okay? And like I said, it'll all go straight to Brother Casimir.
Amen.
So if you want one tonight, we have some. All right? Our message tonight is going to be on how to destroy a great relationship. How many of you would like to learn how to do that? Okay? All right. So that's what we're going to learn. Turn to Proverbs chapter 16, verse 28. Is this on, Jenny? Huh? It should be? Does it sound like it's on?
I don't hear it, Bruce.
You don't hear it? Okay. I had the opportunity to preach to the Sudanese about an hour ago, and so my throat is feeling a little bit raspy. It's not on yet. But in Proverbs chapter 16, verse 28, the first thing, I'm going to give you 7 ways that you can destroy a great relationship with somebody. And that be your husband, your wife, your son, your daughter, your friend, whoever. Doesn't matter. If you're interested to know how to destroy a great relationship, pay close attention. Okay? So we're in Proverbs 16:28, and the first thing that you can do to destroy a great relationship is be sure to talk about them when they're not around, especially in a bad way. Okay? Be sure to talk about them when they're not around, and especially in a bad way. It says in Proverbs 16:28, a froward man soweth strife, and a whisperer or gossiper separateth chief or best friends.
Yeah.
How many of you have ever felt the pain of gossip?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's hand ought to be up right there. We have. And I don't know why it is. Maybe we do. But for some reason, we get this charge out of saying bad things about someone, especially when they're not present, almost as though we feel like it makes us look better. Right?
Yeah.
I think what happens is we get this false feeling of feeling that we're better. But it's false.
Right.
Even the people that we're talking to don't feel good about it.
Right.
And if you think about it, when you've been the recipient of gossip, you probably had an uneasy feeling about it. So if you want to destroy a great relationship with somebody, be sure to talk about them behind their back, and especially in a bad way. But if you want to build it up, give them the benefit of the doubt when they're not there to defend themselves. That's hard to do too. And the reason is because in order to do that, you have to make the person that is gossiping feel awkward. Right?
Right.
Because you have to cross them. You have to go against what they're saying.
Yeah.
You have to disagree with them. Right?
Right.
The second thing you can do to destroy a great relationship is to bring up their downfalls regularly. Their mistakes. Their bad choices. Bring them up regularly. Throw them up in their face. If you want to destroy a great relationship. Proverbs 17:9, turn a couple pages over right there, it says, "He that covereth a transgression seeketh love, but he that repeateth a matter," and here's that same phrase again, "separateth very friends," or good friends. So if you want to destroy a great relationship, then every time you get frustrated by that trait that they have, or that mistake that they make over and over, then just bring it up. Make a big deal about it. You'll destroy a great relationship. But if you want to build a great relationship, then forget or downplay their downfalls and magnify their positive traits.
That's good.
Again, that is not our nature. Our nature is to see the bad much quicker and easier than we see the good, right?
Yeah.
I used to practice this with the boys at Camp Tracy a lot. We would be sitting down and taking a break or something from the heat of the sun or whatever, and we would just be sitting there and to do my best to direct the conversation, because many times their direction of conversation would always go south. So to try to direct it in a good way, I would always, not always, but occasionally I would say, okay, let's practice something here. And I'd start over here on this side and I'd say, all right, Brother Lewis, I want you to name me one good thing about Ms. Alice. Don't do that right now. And invariably, that person would be sitting there for what seemed like eternity, trying to come up with one thing good about the person sitting next to him. Now, if I'd have done the opposite and said, I want you to come up with 5 bad things about the person sitting next to you. Boom, 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 they could pop them off just like that. In fact, in this process of trying to name one good thing about the person sitting next to them, they would still have a negative slant to this compliment they were trying to make on this person next to them. It would be sarcasm or something. And why is that? Because that's our nature. And sadly, it's our nature to destroy a good relationship. Because our nature is the sin nature. And we know who the king of sin is. Satan.
Amen.
And that's what he wants to do. He wants to destroy every relationship that we have. Especially the one that we have with God.
Amen.
So the third thing that you can do to destroy a great relationship is this. When struggles in the relationship come along, just walk away and avoid dealing with them.
Mm.
Just act like they're not there. Give them the quiet syndrome. In Proverbs chapter 17 and verse 17, it says this: "A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity." Adversity is coming.
Mm.
Or it wouldn't say that he is born for adversity. A friend loveth at all times, good and bad.
Amen. Amen.
The bad times come. We know that.
Yeah.
We would like to avoid them, and we should try to, but they're coming. And when they do, to ignore them only makes them compound
Mm.
and grow. They need addressing. That's what friends do.
Yes. Amen.
We address them, but in a loving way. I can't help to think about Brother Phil and Miss Linda, because they do a great job of this. If there's a problem, it's talked about right now.
Mm.
Right? And that's good. That's the way it ought to be.
Amen.
I must admit, I struggle in that area.
Yes.
When Jeanette and I have an issue, sometimes I have the tendency of just clamming up. Almost as though I expect the problem to just dissipate
Mm.
and just kind of go into thin air somewhere and never to return. But that's not the case.
Yeah.
If you want to destroy a great relationship, just ignore the problem. But if you want to build it up, then show love during these difficult times. Be forgiving. Be understanding and long-suffering.
Mm.
Accept people for being people.
Yes. That's good.
I make mistakes, and you know what I want you to do when I make a mistake? I want you to understand.
Mm.
I want you to think a little bit creatively and try to come up with a good reason why I'm acting stupid. And make good reason for it, even if it isn't true. But make good reason for it. That's what I want you to do. But instead what we do is we start hashing back,
Mm.
hammering back. Right?
Yeah.
That destroys a good relationship.
Mm.
Number 4, if you want to destroy a great relationship, be sure to always win the argument. Be the last one to speak. Get in the last word. In Proverbs chapter 17, verse 27-28, the Bible says, "He that hath knowledge spareth his words, and a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit." There is a person in the Bible, somebody tell me who it is, that gets this description. He is of an excellent spirit.
Daniel?
Daniel?
Was it Daniel?
I think it was either Daniel or Joseph, or maybe both. I think it was Daniel. He said he was of an excellent spirit. Most people that knew Daniel liked him.
Mm.
And if they didn't know him, they wanted to. Because he was of an excellent spirit. I promise you, he probably had the art of sparing his words down to a science.
Mm.
So if you want to destroy the relationship that you have with somebody, be sure to always win the argument.
Mm.
But if you want to build it up, understand and apply this truth. It's always better to be happy than right.
Mm. That's good.
Sometimes when Jeanette and I are arguing about something stupid, I know I'm right. Okay? But sometimes, not always, but sometimes I just let her think she's right. And then, you know what? Because of that, she's happy. And so am I. Because I know I'm right. But I let her think she was right. So she's happy too. And the good thing is sometimes she does the same thing.
Yeah. Amen.
Why always be right,
Amen.
but unhappy? It's better to be happy than right. Number 5, if you want to destroy a great relationship, always talk a lot. And let everything that crosses your mind exit your mouth. Again, in Proverbs 17, verse 27 and 28, he that hath knowledge spareth his words. A man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. Even a fool, when he holds his peace, is counted wise, and he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding. Roy Rogers, how many of you have ever heard that name? He coined this phrase, never miss a good opportunity to shut up. Never miss a good opportunity to shut up. So if you want to destroy a great relationship, just always let everything out that crosses your mind. But if you'd like to build it, learn the art of being quiet. Especially when there's a burning desire in your heart to say something that you think they need to hear. That's the best time to do what Roy Rogers suggested. Number 6, if you want to destroy a great relationship, spend your money as fast as you can, earn it. And maybe even faster if you have good enough credit for it. Proverbs 21:20 says this, there is treasure to be desired and oil in the dwelling of the wise. But a foolish man spendeth it up. It's very likely that the wise and the foolish had similar incomes.
Yes. Good point.
They still do
Yeah.
have the same income. Yet one has part of it still in his house. The other doesn't. And it's all because one of them chose to put a little bit of it away. Each time that it came in, put a little bit of it away. A small fraction, a small percentage.
Yeah.
2%, 5%. If you're feeling really generous, 10%. You do the math sometime.
Yeah.
And just figure out how much 5% of your monthly income could wind up to be in a year's time. You could go buy a car with that. Did you know, this is a fact, that most marriage failures are because of financial decisions? So if you want to destroy a great relationship, spend your money as fast as you can earn it. Otherwise, start stacking some of it away. Number 7, if you want to destroy a great relationship, do your best to embarrass those you love, especially in public or in front of other people. Now turn to 1 Peter chapter 3. 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 7. And I realize this is directed at husbands, and for good reason, but it does apply to all of us. It says, likewise, ye husbands, in verse 7, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife, as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. You know what that's saying? Just for just a second, to us husbands, us men. That is saying that when I do not honor my wife, but instead embarrass her in front of people, that God puts His hand to my prayers. Speak to the hand, because the ears ain't listening. That's in our vernacular, today's vernacular. That's what He's saying. When I am choosing not to honor and respect my wife, my prayers are hindered. It's almost like God is looking down from heaven and saying, you're going to treat her like that? I'm not going to give you what you want. No sense in even asking. But this can be applied to all of us. We are to honor each other.
Yeah.
Not embarrass each other.
Amen.
Again, making someone look smaller does not make us look bigger.
True.
That's that false gossip thing that we deal with from time to time, isn't it? So if you want to destroy a relationship with somebody, be sure to embarrass them regularly and especially in public. Otherwise, look for ways to encourage, uplift, praise, or edify those who are close to you. Again, this is against our nature.
Yeah.
And by the way, these things that we say, sometimes the way we put it, it slipped out of my mouth. Not really. Because it made a lot of circles up here before it finally slipped out right here. The truth is, the things that we say are really only a reflection of our heart. I don't know if you noticed it or not, but all of these things, except for the money thing, to destroy a relationship with somebody, all is tied to our tongue. Right? The things that we say, again, are just a reflection of what's in our heart. So to say, watch what you say, is not the real solution here.
That's good. Amen.
We have to watch what we think. We have to direct our thoughts. Because again, our natural tendencies is to go the wrong direction with our thoughts. I can see your sin much quicker than I can mine. And it's my tendency to mention it. Right? What about you?
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm not needing to watch what I say. I'm needing to watch what I think.
That's good.
So if I want to repair a relationship, build a stronger relationship, what I'm saying is not the issue here. I need to change what I'm thinking about you. So I have to purposely recognize the good points that you have and mention them. Maybe even rehearse them over and over to myself. The truth is, they are there.
Amen.
And most likely there's more of them than there are the bad ones.
Amen.
But it's our nature to magnify the bad ones instead of the good ones, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, if we did that little practice right here tonight, where that you say something good about the person sitting next to you, or say something bad, it would be much easier to say something bad. I think we all struggle here. I know I do. This has been very helpful to me.
Yeah.
Because it just reminded me of what I need to be doing with those that I love the most.
That's good.
I need to think about and purposely talk about the good points in those that I love the most. They're funner to be around when I mention those things.
Amen.
A whole lot funner than when I mention the other things. Are y'all with me?
Amen.
Let's pray. Father, I thank you for loving us, and I thank you for your word that gives us direction on how that we can build a stronger relationship with those that you have put in our life. Lord, I do pray that you would help us to apply these things. Help us, Father, to do that on purpose. It's not going to happen on accident. Lord, help us to build stronger relationships with those in our family and those friends of ours that we have. And I thank you for that. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Let's stand. Turn to 481. 481. We'd like to invite you to prayer. 481.